So before I begin talking about this episode of Sword Art Online that just came out this past weekend, I want to talk about how this will be the last episode of Sword Art Online Season 3, I think, until January. So it's gonna be a bit. Like, we're going on a little bit of a brief break, and the reason why is because obviously it's at the end of the year, it's holiday season, and, you know, many shows and stuff typically go on break. So, yeah, if you're wondering why when next week rolls around, for instance, Saturday or whatever, and there's no new episode of Sword Art Online, well, the reason is because, well, you know, it's kind of between next year and it's New Year's and stuff, Christmas and all of that, so many things will be on break next week. So, just wanted to quickly clarify before I go any further. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about what this episode is about. So, the Cardinal System, and the main ruler of the Underworld system. Okay, so to clarify a couple things, many are probably a little bit confused right now. Exactly what did the Queen do? What did she do, and why does it really matter? Like, how powerful is she? What's really going on? What is her motive? Let's clarify all of these details. So, the first things first, let's talk about why she did it. So, as we see from the brief little backstory on the ruler, is that she was someone that was kind of corrupted. She had a little strand of bad will. For instance, someone that corrupted her that was from wrath and gave her horrible intentions. And she wanted ambition and control, power. And that's technically something that is a part of humanity. When you think about humanity, that is a part of our species itself. Power and all of that. And in this case, that's what she was. She was someone that was slightly corrupted, and she had this power and ambition to want to obtain everything, control everything. And in some ways, you can assume that maybe the reason why this was thrown into her and why she acted like this is because obviously they want to create, you know, killing machines. Remember, the entire point of this, you know, system, this world, is to create AI that will be used to fight in wars. So obviously having someone that's manipulative or someone that's able to have bad intentions in some ways is for the greater good for what they're trying to do. So you can assume, even though it seems like it's messed up and what's going on here might be like something that Raph didn't want, it could be potentially what they did want. That is some food for thought to think about. Maybe that was the intention since the very beginning, because obviously they do want to make machines to fight in battle instead of sacrificing human lives. So, okay, now with that out of the way though, let's talk about the Queen. So the ruler, she was someone that was gifted a calling to study sacred arts. And since the world was at such an early age, you could basically assume she was the first person to ever obtain such a calling. For instance, to study basic arts itself and to find out everything about it. Her entire purpose was to just say, you know, system call, generate over and over and try different phrases. That was her entire purpose in life. And obviously, because of her constantly having trial and error for, you know, decades, she arrived to the point to where she was able to gain control of the Cardinal System. Now, to explain why she got so strong, or why she banned hunting, or anything, is because she was getting stronger. You know how when you play a game, okay? When you're playing an RPG, MMORPG, and you have to do hunting quest, or you take down goblins, whatever, you get stronger. You get EXP, you get gold, you get equipment, etc., etc. Basically, that's what she was doing. She was slaying foxes every single night. And that's what was not clarified actually in this episode. She did this every single night, clearing out the forest for nobody can hunt and come to learn about how you can get stronger, you know, level up your authority level for you can be able to achieve greater command spells, for instance, system calling and all that. And so every single night when she was a kid, until she got into the position of power where she could, you know, completely ban stuff like that, she went out of her way to hunt every single fox, because since this is an RPG, it's a new world, all the foxes would spawn back. Everything would be completely fine and spawn back the next day. It was kind of like on a 24-hour cooldown period, and then they spawn back, and then she would repeat it once again, which in turn was giving her EXP before she could level up. Now, this explains a lot of details that many were probably wondering about in the earlier stages of this series. Remember, Yu-Gi-Oh, he was someone that was struggling to take down the Demon Cedar Tree. He wasn't able to bring it down because obviously he just did not have a weapon that was really good enough, but also he did not have the the authority to be able to take down the tree effectively. And many were saying it was such an easy fix. Like, you could think about it, like, just go slay some few things, go slay some animals or whatever, and you would be able to level up a little bit to be able to, cut down this tree. It seems like a very simple solution, and it is. But the thing was, the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh never did it was because they banned stuff like that. They banned hunting. They banned, obviously, hurting other people. You can't go into the dark, realm, because if you go into the dark realm, you're going to be able to find creatures that you can fight, which will make you stronger. So, I mean, when you think about this, it makes a lot of sense now why Yu-Gi-Oh or many others have not been able to level up, because obviously it's been banned. And this goes back to what she did and why she even put it in place in the first place. She was very paranoid. She was paranoid that someone would reach the same level as her, the heights of strength that she was, and snatch away her power itself. Because you can see, she found out very quickly that the system call / generate was very important. And let's clarify that. So, just to make sure you're on the same page here, she discovered English. As you know, if you watch in the episode, obviously, when they speak system call, generate, they are actually speaking English. She literally discovered a new language, English. She found out that it actually had meaning, which makes sense. When you think about system call and all that, it has to have meaning. But obviously, everybody doesn't really know what it means. They didn't know if it really was a true language, or if it was just a, ramble of like mambling a bunch of words, putting it together, and there you go, it has power or whatever. They don't really know. Probably like some chants or stuff. But she actually managed to discover the meaning behind certain words and piece them together to be able to figure out what to do and how to summon certain things. So yeah, that's to explain that. She basically found out a whole new language, and it wasn't just her discovering how to use system commands, it was her learning the English language itself, which is why she arrived at so many different ways to figure out different things or how to use different powers or healing, is because she was able to understand the meaning behind the words, which would take a crazy amount of time to be able to accomplish. Honestly, she lucked out. Like, if we look at everything regardless, she lucked out being able to find the command that she wanted, the command list, to be able to look at everything, to snatch the Cardinal's power, to be able to be where she's at now. She just got lucky, but even then though, she did learn a whole new language. She lucked out and was able to put meaning to the words she was saying. And so, there you go. That is the big reason here. She had a high authority level, and because of this high authority level, she was able to use system calls and stuff, like system commands, that would be able to be used, and she would understand the meaning behind it. So, it's like this, okay? Let's say system call generate thermal lighting, which we see, like, whatever in this episode. If you're not at a certain authority level or command level, you're not going to be able to use stuff like this. But since she was so high after slaying the foxes every single day, she was ridiculous in level, and so she was able to do anything she wanted. She was able to do any system command or whatever, and summon anything she wanted. So if the word didn't work, obviously she wasn't strong enough. And the world, it was not intending for someone to get as strong as she was. Like, it was never expected for you to really level up in this world. But the entire point of this world was never to be an RPG. Remember that. This entire world that was made by Wrath was supposed to just be a trial, just to turn AI into war machines. So they never expected to really have a real game going on here to level up everybody. And she obviously discovered this flaw of game mechanics and was able to abuse it to get where she was. So yeah, she basically found a backdoor into the system programs to be able to access the power that she wanted. And so this is fundamentally the issue of just using the original SEO program to be able to do this entire, actual experiment, is because there was RPG elements, put into place. So yeah, that explains that. So it was never intended for her to level up, get that strong, to be able to use system commands. It just was never expected whatsoever. Now another point here is that she also, when she did finally discover the command, we need to take note that it wasn't something that just happened like that. It was very apparent, even if you're an anime only and not reading the light novel, that many, many years, decades upon decades passed until she was finally able to create what she wanted, or be able to access the command list. We see that she started off as a kid, a very young kid, learning system calls and stuff, and spent her entire life putting a bunch of commands together to figure out what they meant. And in the last stretches of her lifespan, when she's literally puking up blood about to die, she discovers her answers. She just puts random words together. And in the light novel, it depicts a little bit more, basically saying that she just put random words constantly together, just endless flow of words and all that. And she just got lucky. She was extremely lucky, got lucky with what she said, and she accessed what she wanted. She got what she wanted, to be able to live forever, to be able to gain power and stay in power. So it really just comes down to dumb luck for her, but even then, it just shows what type of person she was and how driven she was to continue living. She did not want to die, and she also wanted to remain in power, but she learned an entire new language just to be able to do that in the first place. So, okay. With all of that out of the way, many are probably wondering, so what does this mean for the Cardinal system? Well, she merged with the Cardinal system. Like, the Cardinal system that we see the little girl, she's still around. She's the main original one. But thanks to what, the Queen did, it caused this entire situation, this disruption, where she kind of lost most of her power. And the Queen, it's kind of like her personality was overwritten. So, example. Let's say I placed my mind into yours, or you had the power to try to implant my mind into you, okay? You basically overwrote your entire personality with mine. That's what she did. She accidentally, trying to seize authority over the Cardinal system, gain its power, its rights, she accidentally merged with it, and in turn caused it to where she had the will or the objective to preserve the underworld. For instance, the Cardinal system's entire purpose is to maintain balance and order in the world. And since she was someone that already had rules in place, for instance with the taboo index, and she was trying to keep everybody in line, thanks to that, she already had stuff going on. And then with her merging with the Cardinal system, it kind of distorted her mind a little bit to where she wants to enforce the taboo index. Like, it's literally, she fully believes in it. It's not now that she's trying to be evil or anything, she just fully believes in it because she fused with the Cardinal system. So, okay, there you go. There's your clarification. Hopefully I explained that properly. If I didn't, please forgive me. But okay, that's pretty much about it when it comes to this episode. It's a pretty good episode. It lets us know the reason why now, why the Integrity Knights are like they are, why they have no memories, because obviously another reason is she doesn't want anyone to get stronger than her. She doesn't want anyone to ever reach her level, so she will go out of her way and basically eradicate their memories and make them slaves to the system, because, then all the powerful people will keep everybody else in check to where they'll never rebel against her. So this puts everything in place where you kind of understand what is going on now in this world. A lot of world building, a lot of setup, and I can't wait to see where, the rest of the anime is going to go, because we're pretty much caught up now where I read to in the light novel, so I am pretty freaking excited. But that's about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Sword Art Online? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest in the comments below. I'm very curious. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.